Welcome back everyone, no intro today, I haven't got a lot of time, let's get into it. Did anyone see Borat? Honestly, how good was that film? Sacha Baron Cohen has done so well again this time. Now I did know Borat was coming out pretty soon, or at least there was something in filming, because I've seen loads of news articles on Sacha Baron Cohen being spotted. But I didn't know it was coming out this quickly, and I was amazed when I went on Amazon Prime and I saw Borat in his little, what do you call that? Maskini? And I just had to watch it because the first one was one of my favourite films. I was one of them annoying people going around saying the catchphrase for 5 years. And the movie obviously didn't disappoint me. But I'm so surprised that a movie as big as this would go straight to Amazon. Like I don't even know if it's out for cinema release. It's just out. It's just out on Amazon. And to be fair, I've really been thinking about doing a video on Disney recently. But this news pushed me over the edge to get one done. Because this is it. Cinemas are really going to struggle if this is the future. Sorry, just had to change my lighting there. And obviously I'm not going to talk much about Amazon Prime. Out of all the streaming services, it's probably my least favourite. I only have it because it's free. I do like The Boys. I think that's a brilliant show. But overall, Amazon seems to be the worst of the video streaming services in my opinion. One that I do use a lot, and probably even more than Netflix at the moment, is Disney+. And depending on what type of investor you are, you could be having a really good time with Disney right now, or a really crap time. And what's most important is Disney's the first company to really bring out a big film title only on their streaming service. And at the moment, all the discussions are revolving around this guy, Dan Loeb. Now, Dan Loeb is what's known as an activist investor. Not an activist investor like he's sitting on trains and chaining himself to trees and stuff like that. He's an activist investor in the way where he's got so much money leading a hedge fund, he's able to write to companies and try and steer them in the direction that he wants. Obviously, if they don't do what he wants, he can just threaten to take all of his money out. And I've known of Dan Loeb now for quite a while. He was a big part of the United Technologies breakup and its partnership with Raytheon. Dan Loeb pushed heavily for the breakup of United Technologies into Carrier, Otis and Raytheon. He wasn't a big fan of the Raytheon deal, but he was very pushy on Carrier and Otis being broken up to give great value. It turns out that it's happened exactly as he predicted, with even Raytheon Technologies now being very undervalued, probably one of the most undervalued companies on the S&P 500 right now. So because he got that right, I'm quite interested in what he's got to say. And right now what he's saying to Disney is keep your dividend cut. Disney paused its dividend earlier in the year and it's still deciding whether to bring it back. Dan Loeb is a big proponent of not bringing it back, saving the money and reinvesting that $3 billion back into the company. And to be fair, he's got quite a good rationale for that. I'll have a chat about that in a second. But first, I just very quickly want to talk about Disney and why it's in these troubles and why Dan Loeb wants to make some changes. What Disney does have going for it is branding and brands. It owns everything. Honestly, if you've never looked into it before, have a look at how much Disney owns. It's crazy. Pixar, Lucasfilm, ESPN, Marvel. Oh my god, it owns so much stuff. And it's got a stupidly strong brand. I can't really explain it any better than Warren Buffett does.
Every person in this room, when you say Disney, has something in their mind about it. If I say Universal Pictures, you don't have anything in your mind. If I say 20th Century Fox, you don't have anything special in your mind. If I say Disney, you've got something in your mind. And that's true around the world. Now picture yourself with a couple of young kids, who you want to put away for a couple hours every day so you get a little peace of mind. And you know if you get them one video, they'll watch it 20 times. So you go to the video store or wherever you buy the video. Are you going to sit there and premiere 10 different videos and watch them each for an hour and a half to decide which one your kid should watch? No, let's say there's one there for $16.95 and the Disney's there for $17.95. If you take the Disney video, you're going to be okay. So you buy it. And you don't have to make a quality decision on something that you don't want to spend the time to do. And so you can get a little bit more money if you're Disney, and you'll sell a lot more videos. It makes it a wonderful business. Makes it very tough for the other guy. How would you try to create a brand? DreamWorks is trying, but how would you try to create a brand that competes with Disney around the world and to replace the concept that people have in their minds about Disney with something that says Universal Pictures? So that the mother's going to walk in and pick out a Universal Pictures video in preference to a Disney. It's not going to happen.
I completely agree with that. I don't think I could name a Universal Pictures film off the top of my head. Disney, I could name you hundreds. And this right here is the exact reason why there's so much controversy around Walt Disney right now. Lockdown has caused Disney to lose a massive amount of value. Traditionally, Disney is all about parks, cinemas, and merchandise. 3 things that you just can't get during lockdown. I don't want to go too far into the fundamentals today because quite frankly, they're so uncertain. So I can't really believe the accuracy of the projections. But there's one app that I've been using recently called Genuine Impact. I find it pretty good for just seeing overall of businesses. They don't give you a lot of details about balance sheets and cash flow, that sort of thing. But they do a few calculations for you and give you a score. I'm finding it pretty good for just screening new stocks. Basically, here it just shows you the quality of it, and the quality of Disney right now is low. It wasn't before lockdown, but it is now. It shows you very quickly that it's very expensive, and it also shows you that pretty much no one is buying it right now. To be honest with you, if I didn't know who Disney was, and I looked at this right now, I would think, I'll pass, and I won't even look into it at all. But I'm already in Disney, so let's go through it. So the biggest problem with Disney right now is it's really overvalued. And while the history doesn't look like a tech company, because it isn't a tech company, its PE ratio right now is labeled like a tech company. And this is because Disney has now become quite a speculative company because it's moved towards Disney Plus. Just for clarity, I do own Disney. My average price down there is 12423. That is not my actual average price. Fun story, I was doing a previous video on stop losses and I actually set a stop on Disney and forgot about it. So one day when the stock dropped, all my shares sold out and I had to rebuy back in. And since then I've been averaging up. So I think my actual price is probably somewhere between $90 and $100. But this news is why Disney is being valued so highly. Disney's streaming service is on track to have as many subscribers as Netflix by 2025. It is coming hard right up Netflix's ass. Fuck it, leave it in. But the controversy right now is that Disney's share price is probably 10 to maybe even 20% overvalued. Most analysts have its share price valued at around $90. And even then, it won't see that value until the end of 2022. But that's the nature of the stock market at the moment. Quite a lot of things are speculative, and Disney's become one of them. And it brings us back to Dan and why he wants Disney to save that $3 billion in dividends. He believes that that money will be better spent growing the business. And he has a point. One of my biggest complaints about Disney right now is that it doesn't have a lot to choose from. Fair enough. My kid watches Toy Story 30 times a day. I don't really have too much of a problem. But I can see that if it is really going to take on Netflix, it needs to appeal to a much wider audience. Other streaming services do know the benefits of having lots of high quality content. Netflix spends $15 billion a year on content. You've got Amazon Prime spending $6 billion a year. You've got Apple TV spending another $6 billion a year. HBO Max is spending $3.5 million. That's not brilliant either. I'm in HBO Max and they're only spending $3.5 billion on content. They said they're going to build higher quality content than the others. And you would have thought more spending would be the thing that brought that higher content to the customer. I'm going to have to watch out for that one as well. And at the end, we have Hulu and Disney Plus, which comes in at about $5.5 billion. In case you didn't know, Disney owns Hulu. It's kind of a TV-based subscription service. It's got a lot going for it there, but Disney Plus also adds another $2.5 billion. I've merged them together because another part of Dan Loeb's plan is to actually merge Hulu and Disney together. I'm quite behind that, if I'm honest. I reckon that will bring a lot of value to both companies by bringing them together. To have the two services brought together with all that content, I think that could really boost Disney Plus. But if you take Disney Plus as its own entity, it's spending the least out of everyone on content. And that's what Dan Loeb's been talking about. He's been talking about cutting this $3 billion a year. And personally, I don't think they should cut their dividend, but a lot of you disagreed with me. There's a few reasons why I don't want them to cut their dividend. First of all, it's return to me. I'd like to keep that up, and if they cut their dividend again, I think the share price will see a big drop. It'll be a good time to start buying in again. I will definitely buy more regardless of whether they keep their dividend or not. But there's a reason why we invest, and some of these people might have invested their money as early as the 1960s. To me, when you invest in a company, we shouldn't really be thinking about capital appreciation. I know people do. I know people want the price to go up so they can sell out. But to me, that just isn't investing. Investing for me is giving money to a company, allowing it to grow, and then one day that company will pay you back some of their profits, usually in dividends. And I feel like that's what investing should actually be. And I think that a lot of people who invested in Disney many, many years ago, they probably think the same thing. Those investors have paid a lot of money and stuck with Disney for a long time. I feel they should be rewarded for their loyalty. Otherwise, what's the point in investing? I think most investors would be happy with a cut in their dividend. I'm sure I would. But to completely get rid of the dividend, I'm not so sure they should do that. Disney, as a streaming service, has a lot going for it, and the market has priced that in. People are expecting that one day it's going to be as good and as valuable as Netflix. And potentially, if it follows the same business model, it'll take some of the revenue off Netflix. I'm still subscribed to the idea that Netflix is really going to slow down soon. But I think Disney is going to go a step further. I actually think it's going to start disrupting Netflix with new, innovative ideas. I believe it's going to beat Netflix at its own game. It already bought out Mulan to its Disney streaming platform this year, bypassing the cinemas. I'm not sure how that went. Apparently it is the most popular streaming movie in the world. I definitely wasn't going to pay 30 quid for it. I do want to see it though. I'm just not going to pay 30 quid for it. So that was an interesting experiment. I don't think that's going to do as well as they're saying it did. And I don't think it should either. But I do think it'll do better than Warner Brothers' Tenet. Another film I really wanted to see, but I didn't want to see because cinemas. I just don't want to go to the cinema anymore. I didn't want to go to cinema before lockdown. I especially didn't want to go to the cinema to watch Tenet with a pregnant wife. I just couldn't be asked to go through the experience. However, I do really want to see Tenet. I just couldn't. So these are two examples of companies who traditionally bring out their movies through cinemas, bypassing and going through streaming. And Bob Chapek, while he was a little bit cryptic about it, I'm pretty sure we've got the idea of what they plan to do.
Tell us specifically about your relationship with the movie theaters. You released Mulan internationally. Here in the U.S., you charged $30 for Disney Plus subscribers. You just announced that you're going to be releasing Soul, a Pixar movie, free for Disney Plus subscribers, pulling it out of theaters. How committed are you to the theatrical release model, and how different are things going to be now that you've done this reorganization?
Yeah, so as you know, we've benefited from a tremendous relationship with theatrical exhibition for many, many, many years. As dynamics change in the marketplace, though, we want to make sure that we're giving consumers who want to go to theaters to experience everything that a theatrical release can give them. We want to make sure that we continue to give them that option. But at the same time, there's a lot of consumers that want to experience a movie in the safety, comfort, and convenience of their own home for whatever reasons they do. So we want to make sure that, again, that we put the consumer first, and the consumer is going to be making the decision in terms of how they consume our media, as opposed to some arbitrary decision that we may make from a distribution standpoint. So we want to look at ourselves as consumer enablers.
Now, I'm pretty sure I understand exactly what he means. I think that cinemas are absolutely on their knees and they will take any deal they can. I think all of their new stuff is going to go straight to Disney Plus. And it's going to come out of the cinema at the same time. And you basically choose where you want to go see it. I think that Disney will get rid of the $30 fee. I really can't see Mulan doing that well on the streaming service, not at $30. People still didn't quite understand what Disney were going for there. I think we'll see more of a Disney Plus price hike up to Netflix levels rather than releasing them on a Disney Plus service. And I'll also take an outside guess that at least some of the things on Hulu will start to come over to Disney Plus to generate more of that content.
What does the future of theatrical look like then?
Well, I think you're going to hear a lot more on December 10th when we have our next investor conference. We plan to share a lot more details in terms of how this strategy and how this reorganization then translates into business actions. And so I look forward to sharing a lot more on December 10th.
And so there you go. December the 10th is Walt Disney's new battery day. I don't know if Dan Loeb's going to get what he wants. I imagine Disney has had some sort of chatter with him in private. I don't think it's going to bother me either way. I'm definitely not going to be selling out of Disney anytime soon. Not on purpose anyway. But I will say that lockdown for Disney is going to be temporary. It's going to do a lot of damage to their company. Not as much damage as, say, the airlines are coming under or even cinemas are coming under. But it is going to do a lot of damage, particularly in places like California. But Disney has created this opportunity to shift its focus. And I'm fully behind it. I agree with Dan Loeb. I think there needs to be more spending on new content. If it does that, it has the opportunity to absolutely blast Netflix out of the water. Walt Disney is going to remain my third biggest holding in my portfolio. And I will continue to keep cost averaging into it whether the market cap goes up or down. I use Disney Plus almost every single day with my 2-year-old. I get to sit and watch a film with him. It's really nice. So I really understand the benefit and the quality of Disney Plus going forward. I do think it's better than the cheap-ass cartoons that they keep putting on Netflix. Remember, if you do want to see a full list of my holdings, you can have a look at my income pie. There is a link in the description below. If you click that, you can have a look at my full income pie and you can see all of my holdings at their current weight. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. The investment app that I use is called Trading 212. If you wanted to get into investing and start a portfolio, you can sign up in the link in the description below. If you sign up through that link, you get a free share that could be worth up to £100. Don't forget to check out the Instagram. Thank you so much to everybody who has put forward baby names. That was one of the funnest nights of my life. That's pretty sad, isn't it? And also, don't forget to check out the Discord. It's absolutely hilarious how badly everyone's portfolios are doing in the ABC game. Oh, it's so funny. I think mine's doing pretty badly as well. Let me just check. Yep, it's doing absolutely terribly, if you can see there. 9365. Oh, I thought I was going to win it at one point. I was doing really well. But no, I think Shopify and Sunrun have done terribly over the past week. I should have bought Salesforce. There it is. It's on my watch list. It was right there. I could have put it on. Thank you very much for watching. And if you found this video interesting or entertaining, please feel free to like, subscribe, and invest.